You know that feeling when you walk into a room and it's like you're wearing an invisibility cloak? Yeah, me too. Until I discovered something at 3 a.m. in a Denny's parking lot that changed everything. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm some alpha wolf or whatever. I'm just a guy who spent way too many years being the human equivalent of beige wallpaper. You know the type. Always there, never noticed. The guy people forget they invited to things. But here's what's messed up. It wasn't because I was boring. It was because I was broadcasting something I didn't even know I was broadcasting. And no, before you click away thinking this is another just be confident bro video, it's not. This is about the weird psychological glitch I discovered that made people suddenly start remembering my name. All of them. Even Dave from accounting. And Dave doesn't remember his own kids' names half the time. So picture this. I'm sitting in my car after getting rejected for a promotion I knew I deserved, third time that year, and I'm watching this homeless dude through the Denny's window absolutely commanding the attention of everyone in there, not begging, not performing, just existing differently. This guy, ripped jeans, probably hadn't showered in days, had more presence than every suit in that place combined. People were buying him food, listening to his stories, treating him like he mattered. And that's when it hit me like a truck doing 90. We've been taught presence backwards our entire lives. The first truth. Everyone tells you to stand up straight, speak up, take up space, but watch the most magnetic person in any room and you'll notice something weird. They're usually the most relaxed person there. Not lazy relaxed, different relaxed, like they know something nobody else knows. Here's what took me 30 years to figure out. Your body is constantly having a conversation that you're not invited to. Every micro movement, every shift, every blink is screaming information about your internal state. Most of us, we're walking anxiety billboards. But that homeless dude, he moved like he had nowhere else to be. And paradoxically, that made everyone want to be where he was. Try this tomorrow. I dare you. Walk into Starbucks like you own shares in the company, but you're too rich to care about checking the stock price. Don't strut, don't pose, just move like every step is exactly where it's supposed to be. I started doing this, and my barista, who'd been spelling my name wrong for 2 years, suddenly started drawing little smiley faces on my cup. Coincidence? Maybe, but probably not. If this is hitting different than your usual YouTube University lectures, maybe hit that like button, or don't. I'm not your supervisor. But seriously, it helps more people find this at 2 a.m. when they need it most. The second truth. You want to know the most powerful thing I learned? It's not about being the loudest. It's about being the most certain. Not certain you're right, not certain you're better, just certain you belong. I used to rush to fill every silence. Someone would ask me a question, and I'd vomit words like a broken Wikipedia. Now, I let the question land. I actually taste it for a second. Then I respond. The first time I did this in a meeting, my boss literally said, "That's actually a really good point." Same ideas I'd been pitching for months. Different delivery, different result. It's like that scene in every movie where time slows down before the big moment. Except you're creating that moment in real time, in real life, in a conference room that smells like old coffee and broken dreams. But here's where it gets weird. And I mean glitch in the matrix weird. The less you try to dominate a room, the more the room organizes itself around you. I know that sounds like some fortune cookie nonsense, but stick with me. The third truth. Remember being a kid and having that one friend whose house everyone wanted to hang at? It wasn't the biggest house, didn't have the best snacks, but something about it just felt right. That kid's parents had figured out the secret. They weren't trying to impress anyone. They were just being themselves, completely. That's what presence actually is. It's not dominance, it's depth. It's being so okay with who you are that other people feel okay being who they are around you. I started applying this everywhere. Instead of trying to be interesting, I became interested. Instead of waiting for my turn to talk, I actually listened. Instead of peacocking for attention, I gave it. And something insane happened. People started seeking me out. The same coworkers who used to talk over me were suddenly asking for my opinion. Women who never noticed me were suddenly, well, noticing me. Even my mom started taking my advice, and that woman hasn't listened to anyone since 1987. But the craziest part? I wasn't doing more. I was doing less. Less fidgeting, less explaining, less apologizing for existing. I stopped moving like I was sneaking through life trying not to wake anybody up. Started moving like I paid rent on my space in the universe. You know that thing where you're standing in a group and you're kind of hovering on the edges, hoping someone will include you? Yeah, I stopped doing that. Now I plant myself wherever I am like a tree that's been there for 100 years. People naturally adjust around me instead of me constantly adjusting to them. The screenshot moment. Here's the truth bomb that nobody wants to hear. The world doesn't owe you attention, but you don't owe the world an apology for existing either. Read that again, screenshot it if you need to, because once you really understand that, like really let it sink into your bones, everything changes. And look, I'm not saying you'll suddenly become some mystical presence wizard overnight. Last week, I still walked into a glass door at Target. The difference is, now I own it. I laughed. The cute cashier laughed. We had a moment. Old me would have speed walked to my car and never returned to that Target again. So here's your homework. And yes, I'm giving you homework because apparently I'm that guy now. Tomorrow, try the 3-second rule. When you enter any room, pause for exactly 3 seconds before doing anything. Don't look at your phone. Don't fidget. Just arrive. Let your presence land before your personality does. When someone asks you something, count 1 Mississippi before answering. Not to be dramatic, just to actually process what they said instead of waiting for your turn to talk. And here's the big one. Stop explaining yourself so much. Your decisions, your presence, your existence, none of it needs a disclaimer. Remember that Denny's parking lot revelation I mentioned? Here's what I didn't tell you. After watching that homeless dude work his magic, I went in and sat with him. Bought him a Grand Slam. Asked him his secret. You know what he said? Kid, everyone's so busy trying to matter that they forgot they already do. Then he stole my hash browns and asked if I wanted to hear his theory about aliens building the pyramids. I said yes, obviously. Look, you're not invisible. You're just broadcasting on a frequency nobody's tuned into yet. Change the frequency, change your life. And if this hit you different than expected, maybe share it with that friend who needs to hear it. You know the one. See you in the next video, where I explain how I accidentally became the most interesting person at my high school reunion without lying once. Peace.